Hey everybody, it's Amy from Seriously Sweet and Cookie Snack Attack. Please give me just one moment to share this over to the Frosting Creators group, and then we're going to get going. I hope everyone has enjoyed the event as much as I have. I actually have been able to watch it today, so I'm super excited about that. Okay, I'm just going to make sure it's live over there. I'm also going to keep my phone open for as long as the battery lasts so that I can see comments if they don't all filter to the same place. So Melinda, if you're there, just let me know you can see me. Hey Karen, how are you? It's so good to be on with you guys today. So somebody that is watching from the Frosting Creators of San Antonio page, please let me know I'm live over there. I see a bunch of people popping on. Hey, how are you today, Sandra? I hope you're doing well. All right. I think that we're in pretty good shape. So we're going to try this out. Hi, Nancy. Okay, good. You can see me on there. All right, let's go ahead and take this banner away and we're going to get started. I'm going to do something just a little bit different today. In that, I'm going to try to do, I'll show you in just a second. Hey, how are you guys? So hopefully, I am not in my normal cookie studio. I'm actually in Florida working on my mom's house. So I am live streaming to you from the Airbnb that I'm at. And the internet seems to have done really well. So I'm going to try to stream with two cameras. If at any point it gets blurry, we'll take away the second camera. And I'm going to leave it where I can see your comments. And just so that I don't forget, hey, you guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be back again. I think I've actually done all 5 events with Frosting Creators. Melinda, do you know? I feel like I've done all 5. So I'm always so glad to get to do these. I've missed you guys. So little life update. Almost, please say prayers. Almost everything is in my rear view mirror and we'll be back at full hilt. I expect by when I kick off my next class on May 17th, I think it is. I just listed a new class for you guys, an intermediate level class, which I'll show you later, but I think I'll be back at full hilt by then. So please say a prayer, send positive energy, whatever you guys do. But we're definitely heading in the right direction. Okay, so let's take a look at one thing really quickly. I'm doing this cookie today. And Nancy, if you are watching, look what just arrived. Like literally 5 minutes ago, my Fiesta 3D printed stencil swipe arrived. So if we have enough time, because I asked for an hour and a half and I don't want to keep you guys over. Oh, I just got a message. Okay, I think we're fine. Nancy showed you this and provided this for you as a stencil. And I had Jen turn it into a stencil swipe so I could 3D print it because I don't have my Cricut machine out yet. And then because I had to leave town to take care of some things, Debbie 3D printed it for me and sent it to me here in Florida, and it was lost and then it was resent. And so it arrived just in time for today. So I'm super psyched about that. Hey, Jessie Ann, how are you? Hey, Josette, how are you? So anyway, I'm going to show you this later, but this is the cookie we're going to focus on. And then if we have enough time, I'm going to show you how I intended originally to use this as a stencil swipe. And then, of course, if you want to bulk produce this cookie for like a thank you cookie or something like that, you'll be able to do that by using Nancy's stencil. And you could either stencil swipe it or airbrush it. Also, I think that I provided the free STL file for the cutter because the cutter is 3D printed. It's kind of large. So I like that though, because I like to use these This size cookie, I feel like, is a nice central feature cookie, and it creates something that can be turned into a nice piece to go on the side of like a 3-tier cake, like mid-level, eye level for people. It can be personalized. This cookie can be personalized. And so cake topper, if you want to bake it with sticks in it. Hey, Pamela. Hi, Sylvia. How are you guys? Oh, good. Melinda said, I did provide the file and this is posted. So you guys will have that. Hey, Holly. So, and the other thing about this is if you guys do go to the trouble of printing this out, I'll use it again because it is large. So I know everyone is very conservative with filament and things. No, Janie, this cutter file was provided. So if you can 3D print or know someone who can 3D print, you can print this for free, okay? You didn't need the bag for this. I did donate to the bag, but not this item. Hey, Patricia. So anyway, what I was saying is if you do go to the trouble of printing this, it is on my schedule for 2 tutorial Tuesdays to use it in a tropical theme this summer, okay? Hey, Sally, how are you doing? So if you go to the trouble of printing it for this, we'll also use it for something else, okay? All right. Give me 1 second, you guys. I forgot one of the most important things. I'm back in Florida where I have terrible, terrible allergies, and I forgot to bring my inhaler over here. So I'll just slow down for a minute. Like, I'm so excited I got to be on live with you today. But I have my inhaler, so we're good to go. All right, so there's a new class up for sale. The other thing you guys asked me to confirm with you today was that my cookie retreat that's called Unplugged, because I try to get you off of your electronic devices. We're having our 5th one this year. It is posted. There's a full one-time payment or 2 payments. It's in June. Info is there. You guys can go all read about that. But I did finally get it posted. And the new class is posted. And you guys, look what Debbie sent me. How fun is this? These are 3D printed. Can you see it? It says birthday girl. I'm not going to wear it because like this is a forever video. And she put, it's so cute. And she sent me this cute birthday sign because listen, this is what 55 looks like. This is what a 55-year-old cookie decorator looks like who's super inspired and passionate about cookie decorating. So Debbie, thank you for my presents. They were in the box with the stencil swipe. And for those of you who don't really know, in my little hiatus, one of the things that I've been doing is delving back into Cake Land to see if there was any and there are tons, but I'm not using them today. Like a lot of refreshed ideas from Cake Land, because you guys know that I used to make cakes, cupcakes, brownies, like all of that kind of stuff. Okay. But then I really, when COVID struck, I pivoted and I was just doing curbside pickup. And then I started really focusing on teaching. And I was just easing into what I always tell you guys is the 3rd phase of my career, which is teaching for the last part of my career, because I love that. And sharing with everybody, I love that. So it just happened a little earlier for me than it should have. It really should have happened this year. I should have started this year, but I actually started back in like 2019 with more of the instruction things. So I said that for a reason. That's the other thing that happens when you hit the double-digit 5s. Anyway, I think I was going to tell you that, I don't know. It'll come back to me. It'll come back later. But for this cookie in particular, I thought it would be a great, I know, I was diving off into other things and learning things. So I wasn't just downtime. So today you might see that influence on this cookie, things from Cake Land, Cookie Land, and also from Gingerbread World. Like totally loving things I'm finding there as well. And of course, where my heartbeat is with using mixed media on anything that you're making to try to streamline your process, to be able to be more profitable, all that sort of stuff. So that's where this came from. And hopefully we'll stay in that vein of thought today. So I don't see any questions. I see you guys chatting. So just keep chatting. Do me a favor. It's easier because the comments roll so fast and it's pulling in from 3 places. If you do have a question, can you start the question off with like 3 question marks so that I can tune in on that specifically as we get going? Okay. And my hubs and my puppy she's not really a puppy. She's 16, but my pupster is on her way down here. They're going to help me finish up what I have to do down here before we head back to the nice, shady, comfortable, not hot mountains of Virginia. I've been dying for the last 2 weeks, you guys. It is so hot here already. I lived here for 10 years, but I forgot how hot it was. And the humidity and my allergies, all those things together is just killing me. But we're going to have some fun. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and start. Because it is video and it looks like someone's asking about a download. Melinda tested it and it is working. Rayland is watching with Sally. She's Sally's granddaughter. So I fully intend one day to have a class down here in Florida just so Rayland can come to a kids class. All right. So because it is video, I have done some cookies for you so that it won't take as long. So maybe just sit back, chill, watch this, ask questions, make notes, but don't try to do it with me today, okay? Because there was a lot of prep before the cookie actually got made. And I'm going to try to stand to do this video today. Jesse and Riley, the stuff about the retreat and the stuff about the class, if you'll go to seriouslysweetcupcakes.com, it's all over there. But you guys can do that later. We're not going to run out of spaces. Nothing, everything's fine. We got a nice big space to have our retreat this year. So don't anybody panic. Just hang with me for this, okay? All right. Does that look pretty straight? I'll try to keep it straight for you today. So I started out with my super large cookie cutter. I did this in regular sugar cookie dough. It's a good time to mention, though, it also worked well with, hey, Trisha, hey, Eleanor. It also worked well in chocolate cookie dough, and it worked very well in gingerbread. So I don't know that the theme of Fiesta fits someone's flavor profile for Fiesta, but if you need to make it for a competition piece, construction gingerbread or construction sugar cookie dough will work great for this. Also, I baked mine at just under 1/4 inch. If you want to do it as a cake topper and bake your sticks in it, some people like to add the sticks while the cookie is still warm. But if you're baking it for the purposes of decoration and not to be consumed, and you want to do a thicker cookie, if you're going to bake it longer and make it harder so it'll stand up really well, because you want the flying flag effect I'm about to show you, then I would recommend doing at least 1/4 inch dough on this. I did want to mention that to you. Also, here's another freebie for you guys. Don't go there now. It will be there. But if you go over to, yeah, you could definitely hand cut this. You can hand cut it. Just, I think there's a silhouette in the file download. So definitely you can hand cut it. Look at this really quick with me because this is from several years ago. This is an interactive cookie that would go great with this feature cookie. And it was a llama piñata cookie. So that's actually 3 layers, sprinkles in the middle. But it is another free video that I did. I think I did this one in 2020, maybe 2021. But it is, you break it open and the sprinkles fall out. The kids really love these. You can hide messages in there. But this is over on my YouTube page. So if you want to find that, it's another cookie. I use these same food dyes with, so it would match. And it's just something else you can do with this. And then also, I think you guys would be able to take this file if you know how to create cookie cutters. I think you'd be able to downsize this and make a smaller version. All right. So first off, my inspiration for coloring, I went and found some of the Fiesta themed things in a party store. Although technically, I think these came from Dollar Tree or the Buck and a Quarter store. Because I wanted something to have in my sight for colors as I was marinating on this for a while. So I tend to do that, just shop around, see what's out, look for colors. I don't like to look at other people's cookies because I feel like that makes me zone in too much on how did they create that rather than just gathering colors and gathering my thought process on the type of cookie that I want to make. But I know that other people find the other way easier. So if that is for you, that's totally up to you. Okay. I just know that I started out with a set of neon pencils, mechanical pencils, because I like to sketch still. And some of these fans, I couldn't find any of the party store pennant fans where they were all hung out. So I had to look for picture references and like open air markets for that. But I had something I'd learned in gingerbread land, and I had something from former cake work, and then this all marinating. And this is what came out. So we're going to go with this for today. I have a food safe pen. I forgot these. I have them like 100 of these. And I brought my whole suitcase of all my cookie stuff because I knew I was going to do this while I was in Florida. And this is what I forgot. So I had to hit Michael's and Hobby Lobby, which honestly, it was really no sacrifice that I had to visit a Michael's and a Hobby Lobby, but it was fun. So what you want to do on here, because we want a chalkboard sign, we just want to come in about a 1/2 inch from the bottom and set our first line. We're going to come up top here. I think it helps when you narrow down in your vision field how much space you actually have to work with, right? So I just basically came in about a 1/2 inch on each side. It doesn't have to be perfect as far as how far in from each edge you are, but you really should have a rectangle. Wherever it's in there, you need to have a rectangle so that it looks like a chalkboard. Okay, so magically, wrong one, sorry. Magically, I've already iced that in a very dark gray, but not black. And I'll show you what the color looks like in the bag. I just went to a dark gray, not full black. Can you see that? Like it's because it's going to dry a little darker and because I wanted to muddy it up. I'm going to talk to you really quickly about a couple ways to muddy it up. This is ice and dry. Now, if I were doing a whole bunch of these cookies, I would probably do about the laughing emoji. I'm sorry. I hope you guys are okay. It's been a while since I have done a live stream, like at least a couple of months. So there may be weird things today. We'll just roll with it. So I have this iced. When this was slightly wet, when it was just still damp, I could have dusted it with like a large fluffy brush like this and just cornstarch. And I could have just hit it and the cornstarch would have kind of stuck in the more moist icing. Do you know what I'm saying? But this cookie, I forgot to do that for the purposes of the demo. And I wanted this to look like a chalkboard that people had been writing menu things on and then wiping off. So the way you can get that, if you forgot to do it when the icing was still damp, because it does look really pretty if you do it that way, is to take a little bit of just white food gel. I'm just using something that I picked up at Hobby Lobby because I flew down and I didn't want to fly with that. Just put a little bit of white food gel in a container. By the way, what's the deal in Florida with not being able to get, it's not from Tiki Hot, but your Tiki Hot one would work for what we're going to do later in the summer, okay? It's very close, though. This one actually has spots marked for your flags. What's the deal in Florida that I can't find my traditional Everclear to paint with anywhere? Okay, let me just tell you, I don't drink, so I had no idea about what I'm about to tell you. But this was the highest proof that I could find once I got here. It's a white overproof rum because they have no Everclear anywhere in the area where I'm at. I mean, maybe on the other side of the state they do, but where I am, they don't. Everclear doesn't have an odor to me other than it smells like rubbing alcohol to me. This is the most fragrant stuff that I've ever opened a bottle and smelled before. Much more fragrant than rum or Everclear, but it was the highest proof I could get once I got here. So it worked for the project. I don't recommend that you buy this for what I'm about to use it for. Honestly, I question your sanity if you buy that and drink it, because if it smells like that, I'm not sure what it's doing to your inside, but to each their own, okay? I'm just cutting up with you, you guys. It'll be okay. Now I'm just shaking this over the gel because you can see the gel doesn't normally, or let's say this, depending on the brand, sometimes it fully dissolves and you can paint a thinner, more translucent design with gel colors, but sometimes you get like the muddied up part that won't. So I just need enough of it to dissolve that I can pick up some of the color and then just whitewash my board. And because I went with this higher proof, it will dissolve and just leave that like little white film on there. You see it's eating my icing. All right. So I wanted that little bit of film, okay? So that's the other way you would accomplish it. Yeah, the clear moonshine that I get at home, because we have a moonshine distillery down the road, it doesn't smell at all. So I got to say, I was really shocked with this stuff. All right, so anyway, you've got that. You're going to have a little white film when it's done. And because of the magic of the camera, I have another cookie done that you've already seen. But first, I'm going to show you how we do this awesome wood grain technique. Now, you know, in the Tiki Hot series, that's also still up on my YouTube page. If you want to do a chalkboard and sculpt bamboo or rustic wood, that's up there. But this is a really fun, easy, fast technique that you can use on any kind of cookie in Cookie Land. Do you see that where it looks like wood grain, but it's totally flat? Okay, so I know you guys may have seen it, but I just want to show you. Yeah, I can use this bag. I just want to show you. I'm just using a regular cup, just whatever happened to be here in the Airbnb. This part is not fancy, okay? And this only took 3 colors, or actually 2 colors, a flood consistency and a very light tan icing, and then that gray to do this cookie. And I happen to have a thick bag of brown that I'm going to anchor things to the cookie just so it goes faster, but you could glue the things that we're going to glue to the cookie. You could do that with your thin brown once it's made. All right, let me lift this just a little. Let's see. And I'm so sorry, but with the traveling, there was just no way I could bring on my ring light. So I'll keep you in the light as much as possible. All right, again, you can use any brand you want for this in a gel coloring. This is just what I could pick up at Hobby Lobby. So I got the darkest brown. Okay, and I'm going to open this. Thank goodness I remembered to open all of these because that takes forever. We all know that, right? All right, so let's put the cup under the camera if you can see it. And I'm just going to stick my brush in there. I got a lot of gel on it. I want to carefully, I hope you can see this. I want to carefully go as far down in the tip of the bag and just paint up. I'm just going to paint some streaks. Okay, I'm concentrating more on the color at the bottom of the bag because I don't fill the bag up all the way because I find that there's more diameter, obviously, the further up you come. And that means it takes, for me, I guess the way that I hold the bag, however I do that, it takes more icing around the edges to make the wood grain look, right? More of the regular color comes through. And then I have to stop and refill the bag and stuff. So, and I'm going to just start piling up the things that are dirtied over to the side here, and we'll keep going, okay? All these are going to need to be washed later. Oh, all right. So here is my flood consistency in the light brown. I've got it made up and bagged. It's not open. So what I'm going to do is open this bag a wide point, okay? Because I'm going to fill it into this. I'm going to put about half this bag in there just for now because we're just doing one cookie. And I'm going to take this up. Your flood should be of a consistency that you do not need to helicopter it to get it in the bottom of the bag. Okay. And it should look like this. around the back. Have you guys done this? Hey, Renee, how are you? Ooh, they didn't. Oh, and Jessie Ann, I was about to finish that thought a minute ago. They didn't have clear moonshine here. I looked for that. At home, I can use that too. But this stuff smells like, I don't even know what to tell you. It smells like it's so strong. I'm glad to be back at it too, Renee. I'm glad to almost have a few things settled. All right, so guys, small opening because this works best with a thinner flood consistency than what I normally use. You guys know if you take classes in the group, when I say flood, I'm really talking about a flood outline combined consistency of about 18 to 20 seconds. I'm just going to cut a little tip off here. And this is going to show up. Let me bring this down again. It's going to show up in whatever direction you pipe it. So be careful when you pipe it. Can you guys see that really well? I'll start over here for you. There we go. I'm going to lean down for this, okay? Just so my hand is steady. I've got my arm on the counter. I want this to be a full board. So, and you can, if you're not seeing any dark brown right away, just squeeze some out on the side until you start to see two colors. Let me see. I might have to drop this in another bag, you guys, because I'm not seeing enough of that dark brown. I'm going to drop it in another bag because you need to be able, I can see it, but I don't think you're going to be able to see it on camera. So let me just hit this again really quick. I think we're okay on time. I think I have until 3:15, so we have an hour. All right. Let's do this again, and I'm going to try to get a little bit more down into that tip. Because what's coming out, I can see little grainy streaks, but I don't think you're going to be able to see it. I'm doing the same thing I just did a second ago. I'm just painting stripes up the bag, using the same brush. I just don't think you're going to be able to see that on camera. All right, that icing I just bagged, I'm just going to cut the tip off it and put it down in here. Yeah, that looks better already. Okay. How's everybody doing, by the way? You guys all okay? I feel so out of touch with most of you. It was really nice to get to see everybody at CookieCon, but then I went right back into what I've been working on. So I don't feel like, thank God for CookieCon and Cookieathon and the Frosting Creators event, because you can stay grounded in the cookie land that we love so much, right? Just trimming the tip of that bag again. Let me just see if this is better. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, ready? So remember your lines for your wood grain. Can you see the difference? I just needed to have a little more. So don't be afraid to stop. It's not going to hurt anything if you stop. This is a rustic sign. Also, people do this all different ways. So please don't come for me that I like to do mine spread out, because what I find is that what it looks like is different the more you push out of the bag. So like, see how it's a little darker over here? Over here, it's more medium. Over there, it was light. So one of the things I like is mixing up where that hits. And I also like to make knots in the cookies. And you remember a minute ago, I said, and I like to do little round areas and then come ice up next to them. I'll give the cookie a good shake and it'll settle down and it'll be fine. But it does look better if you mix it up a little bit. So you'll get used to what works best for you. You're also going to really quickly be able to tell whether your icing is the right consistency or not. Okay, so see how great that settles down? It's really pretty. All right, so I'm going to quickly do one more this way. Just so you, well, let me show you. Let me do it this way. I think it's better so you guys can see it. So just don't forget, one of the key things about this is whatever direction you pipe these lines is what it's going to look like for your wood grain. I did make a lot of notches in this because I wanted you to leave it like it was weathered shipwrecked board. This looks really pretty. Cookie Land is my happy place too, you guys. This looks very pretty if you use a gray or the Turkish black and paint your bag and then put a very, very light gray, like white with just a tinge of gray in it. It looks great for weathered beach board. I also tested that for you guys because summer's coming and I thought you just might want to know something extra. I like extra. So I thought you guys might want to know that looks beautiful to do like shiplap board and stuff like that. It's very pretty. Okay. So you can see on both sides, and don't be afraid to do stuff like this. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but see how I have that little divot? So it looks like I've got a worn place in the wood, and then turn it so you remember which direction you're piping, right? Yes, definitely. You can definitely watch the replay because I actually didn't think it showed up well enough for you guys. So I went back and rebagged it. Now, in real life, you guys, I didn't do these next two sides right away. I let it dry so that I would have a space between the top part of the board like this and what the top and bottom and what I consider to be the side panels. So I'm showing it to you because I want you to see that the more you pipe, how it gets to be that different color in case you want to mix it up a little bit as far as how you pipe. Also, this one needs to be piped up and down to match the two ends. Okay, so I want you to just see this, and then we're going to switch to a cookie that's dry. Otherwise, I'll be putting my fingers in this for an hour. So do you see how this side is up and down, and then this board is side to side? And do you see that there's a little bit of shading difference between here and here? That's what I was saying about don't make a big, I prefer, you do it however works good for you. But I prefer to not make a whole big bag because there's more light in the center. And I also found that if I couldn't pipe all my cookies right away, some people will mix up two totally different colors of icing and they'll squirt them like they're milking a cow. They'll squirt them into one big bag. So they'll be all intermingled. But when you're doing a flood this loose, those are going to molt together or blend together a lot quicker than you think they will. So unless you can stay right there with it, this is still the easier way to get this great wood grain look. Okay. And what I mean by that is painting the bag and going in smaller sections. Does that make sense? Somebody let me know if they understand what I'm talking about. So we marked our cookie. I pre-did the chalkboard. We talked about two different ways to dirty up your chalkboard. And then we did our painted bag, and we're going to switch to a cookie that both of those things. So if you're coming into the video late, these are things that would have had to sit and go and dry overnight or go into a dehydrator, right? We're way ahead right now because I did multiple cookies for the purpose of the video. Hey, Ron, how are you doing today? All right. Does that look tilted right for you guys? I want to get you in the right spot. I'm going to get a clean towel for us. I love having this huge kitchen island at the place that I'm at. It's been very nice to do some cookie therapy in the evenings. And I leave everything out. Nothing gets messed with. Okay, so we're good. So this is dry. It's already been dirtied up. We've got our wood boards. All three of these are going vertical. These two are going horizontal. Everybody's good. No questions so far. Oh, it's Yolanda. Hey, Yolanda. I just saw Ron's picture, but I see that it's you online. I hope you're doing okay. It looks like you guys had a really fun Easter. Hi, Cherie. Hi, Kathy. Okay, so if we're good, I'm going to keep going. You guys okay? So again, because of prep work, we're way further along. I can touch this and do all kinds of things to it. So originally, my intention was to use Nancy's stencil or the stencil swipe, and I was just going to stencil swipe Fiesta on this. But I had to leave town before we had that done. Hey, Robin. So then the girls 3D made it a swipe. Debbie 3D printed it. They mailed it to me. But in the meantime, for the demo, and because I needed to get a cookie to Melinda, I figured out a way to do it using some fondant molds that I had. Okay. So if you wanted to do a bunch of these quickly, you could just do the little pieces I'm about to show you how to make and not do the Fiesta banner that I'm going to put on there because you wouldn't need it in both places. Also, you can use any stencil because this is a great cookie to customize, right? Like the finished, where's the finished cookie? I did keep that, didn't I? Did I show that to you when we started? Look, I have more than 3 foot and things definitely are still disappearing. You know, my 3-foot Bermuda triangle we talk about. Oh, here it is. Okay, good. So this is our finished cookie. And what I love about like the Fiesta decorations, they're full. They are not thin. They are not chintzy. They are full. These things are meant to be like blowing around in the wind. They're different sizes. They embrace a lot of beautiful, bright colors. And you guys know I'm like a mixed media hound. Like I love that. I love all the uses of that. Oh, just question marks, Lavelle, so that I'll see your question. You guys okay? All right, so if you were going to do a bunch of these, you could have a stencil made. I don't know, suppose it was a kid's birthday and somebody's turning 5, or you want to say thank you for coming to the party and you want to box this and give them a thank you gift. You could personalize this chalkboard, okay? You can also use projector. You can use a projector. That way you can pick out whatever font or whatever you want to do. So it has a lot of uses. Today, we're going to stick with the Fiesta theme, and I'm going to slide this to the side, and I'm going to show you something fun I've been playing with, okay? Hey, Patricia. I know, I love the bright colors. I mean, it's so pretty. All right, I'm going to talk you through a couple of the things, but most of you know how to use food coloring or dry dust to color fondant. So I'm just going to show it to you, but I'm not going to do it because I did it before. But first, I want to show you something really cool. I mean, it's all cool. I love all of it. Let's not joke about it, but something I've been playing with, and I had to use a larger size for this than I would normally use because I forgot to buy a box. So in gingerbread land, they have this bucatini pasta that you use often for supports. Somebody tell Mary where the link is to get the cookie cutter, because we provided that. You'll be able to get that from like a Google folder or something for free, okay? Okay, so I picked this up because it's a thicker pasta and it's hollow, so it's very good for like use during gingerbread for support. So it's all I had here. However, this size of the cookie, I would have used regular spaghetti or angel hair if I could have gotten the angel hair to work. So I just took a dish. Hopefully I'm not going to spill this. I'm going to pour some out though. I wanted to make curved pieces, which you guys will see in a minute, because I wanted it to look like it had motion in the pieces when I added it to the cookie. So I just took a dish. I kind of guessed based on the swag of my cookie, how much I would need to come across there as if it were rope, right? And then I soaked my should be spaghetti or angel hair in just regular water, just warm water in the dish, put it in here, and it makes it flexible. Okay, but I didn't put it in quite early enough. I would have probably, normal spaghetti or angel hair would be fine right now, having soaked in just regular water for an hour. And if I was going to make a bunch of these, I could soak them with whatever color I wanted them to come out. So I could have put green food dye in here if I wanted to make stems. I could have put some white in here if I wanted to have less yellow in the pasta showing. This is a key thing, guys, for those of you who are starting to compete, and maybe everything doesn't have to be, I'll just use gingerbread for an example to keep it simple. Maybe it doesn't have to be 100% gingerbread, but it does have to be like the contest rules say it has to be 75, 80, or 90% edible. Right? So then you've got to find something when you want to make garlands or whatever. You've got to find your anchor piece, especially if you've got a time competition, so you need to move faster, right? There's things here. Okay, so I soaked it, and then look what I was able to do with it when it was soaked. Let me get rid of this because I'm afraid I'm going to spill it and get something wet. So on that pasta, another 30, 45 minutes on that, I'd be able to do the same thing I'm about to show you, which is what I prepped last night for you. Okay, good. When I break out the neon food coloring, I don't want any chance I'm getting that stuff wet or it will be everywhere. So when I did my pieces last night, when they were damp enough, I took them out. Actually, I should show you here so you can see the difference. I just put them on a Ziploc bag. I could bend them. I could make curlicues. This one I made dried over a puffed up Ziploc bag. It's just a Ziploc bag I closed, blew air in from the corner and made a poofy bag, like a pillow bag. Yes, you could dye them with coffee or tea if you want more of a brown. But honestly, I did browns and I used this, just one drop in that whole plate. And it worked the same. But if you're doing a coffee flavor or something like that and you want the flavor, it will work. And it will also work with cocoa. It doesn't work as well, but it will work. Or let me say, maybe it works as well, but you need more of the colored item than you do if you're using a concentrated gel. So like this one today, I wanted it to be able to stick off the cookie. So I dried it over that puffed pillow and now it's dry. These would break. This is a completely curled one. I just curled it and then set it up like this and it dried. So you can turn this into whatever you want it to be. And you don't have to boil it. I mean, it will obviously, if I'd had a, Ann Clark cookie cutters. Mary, I don't know what that is because this is my cookie. I don't know. Maybe it's under the wrong thing or something, but it's my cookie cutter. It shouldn't be showing up as an Ann Clark. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. So someone else has to fix that. Okay. All right. We'll come back if you're still having trouble though. And then, so I let it dry. And if I had done it in boiling water, it would have softened faster, but I didn't need it to soften faster, so I didn't do that. But you can see it's dry, like it's not losing its shape. So already I know that you guys are like sitting there and you've got 15 million things flying through your mind right now of what you could possibly use this for. So I can't wait to see what you do with it. But then I wanted it to be a little less yellow, a little more white. So I just took straight white food gel about a half an hour before we started and just lightly coated it. So you can do that a day ahead of time. It'll soak into the pasta and fully dry. So I'm going to set that to the side. We're going to need a piece of that in a little bit. I want to show you this next. Let's see, it's 2:30. We're good on time. So remember now, we've only used this and we've used this. That's all we've used in gel coloring, okay? Here's the real star of the show when you're doing a piece like this for a Fiesta theme. I really love these. This is the Rokem. Hope I'm saying it right. If I'm not, you guys phonetically pronounce it over that on the side there. But these were the colors I picked. I wanted 5 colors. I think you'll notice that I did the Roy G. Biv method and kept it in the rainbow just because I think our brains read color better like that sometimes. So when I had the neon colors and I picked my colors, I think I kept them in that. Like I think I did, yeah, I did pink, pink, yellow, and then I switched the yellow and like the orangey coral color because I wanted that next to the green, and then I did the violet, and then I started over. So I used these colors, and I took regular fondant. This is just white Wilton fondant. I'm going to show you so that you know what I used. Hello there, Sharita. How are you? Okay, so here it's just white fondant. I just pop that off. I put on gloves. Please, please wear gloves because I don't want you to message me that your hands are destroyed, and they will be. And so will your nail polish and your fingers with this. This stuff is very potent, okay? A little goes a very long way. Put, I'm klutzy. You guys know I'm klutzy. So put down press and seal with the sticky side up when you go to start doing this so that if any of the color goes out of its little containers, it gets drawn down to the press and seal. Because if you spill this, you're going to hate yourself and me and everybody else that ever told you about it. But I promise you, if you can do all the protective things the right way, you really will love working with this product. It's beautiful. So these are the colors from these colors, right? The purple, the pink, that's the peach. There's a yellow, there's the green. Like in the fondant, they go to those very bright colors. Isn't that great? So if you don't have this, I'm sure one of the cake people that's on here, I see lots of cake and cookie people on here. Can you tell them where they can currently buy these? I got them when I was at Cookie Con, but I don't remember who I got them from, who I purchased them from rather. So if you guys know where they can get them quickly, maybe just put that in the comments. That might help them. All right. So, and if this were real time, this took about 15 minutes and I had all of these colored. Okay. If I was doing this live with you. So pink, yellow, the peach, the green, and the purple. That's what I ended up using. Okay. All right. So, and that's, I don't know. I made these 2 weeks ago and you can see what they look like. They're great. Now, normally, Dawn, you like the press and seal? Yeah, that saved me more than once with this food coloring and with sugar or Turkish black and the regular black and the Master Elite and the red, like at the Christmas. Like it's just, we don't even want to talk about some of the things I did in my commercial kitchen, like where things ended up, stuff spraying up and all that. Julie Goen is in a meeting right now. So she's not with us, but she typically has the explosion of powdered sugar at every event that we go to together. So it's kind of a little running joke with us. But anyway, the colors hold up great. They don't get darker. They don't really change. You know, other brands, you really have to watch that. So if you're going to make stuff ahead of time, you really need to test it. Okay. All right. So that's what we have. Then I have these awesome fondant molds. You know, the thing I didn't get around to doing because I literally just ran out of time with the other stuff I've been working on. I wanted to order a fondant mat that had the fan circles that actually look like this to do some of these for the bottom corner of my cookie. I wanted to put some of those circles here. They do make them, but I couldn't get them in time before I left. And honestly, I thought it was a little sketchy in the Airbnb where I am, whether they'd actually show up to me or not. So I didn't spend the money on that, but you could do that too. All right, so these are just some of the fondant molds I had. We're not going to discuss Amy's obsession with fondant molds today. It's probably just enough that you know I have the obsession, okay? So here's just a piece of parchment. I took some of that earlier and just put it in the mat because I wanted it to still be flexible when we attached it to the cookie. You can make these ahead of time, but I caution you, especially if you're going to put Tylose or CMC powder or anything like that into your fondant, they're going to dry and you're not going to be able to pose them. Now, this side is still super flexible because I left it in the silicone. This side is already getting a little crust. So you'll have to just take that into consideration of what's going to work best for you, okay? Then this mold, this was so cheap. I don't know what's going on with Hobby Lobby, you guys. But apparently that Sunny Side Up brand is always 50% off now. You don't have to wait for a week for it to go on sale. So I think I paid $2 for this. And it's the, you know, it's got the letters in it. So let's just pop these out. Hopefully this might be a problem though, because it may not come out as easy because it's not slick. It has the grooves. Oh no, they're rolling out. That's fine. And then we're going to do a little, I'll show you a cool little nail brush you can get off Amazon. Hopefully that one will turn out okay. So that you can do just minor painting on this with white food gel to make it pop. I love these little detail brushes. They're meant to be disposable nail brushes, but truthfully, if you wash it really well and sanitize it, just like you would do your other brushes, it'll last a long while. Like I've used one as much as 40 times before. But they're so cheap if you don't want to keep them that you're not going to feel guilty about throwing it out either. So that's from that mold. Okay. This is just the letters. I think a lot of you use this for like baby showers and stuff. I feel like I've seen it on a lot of baby shower cakes. So then this was the one, had 3 different size pennants on it. Okay. And this was just something I had at the house. I don't even know. I didn't order it on purpose. It came in with something else, but it's little baby llamas. So if you have the time, you could paint them and put them in the corner of your sign. That would be super cute, right? Especially if you're going to do the llama piñata cookies or something. All right. So now what we're doing, guys, in case you're wondering where we're at, we're going to do all of the prep work. I know, Renee, me too. I don't even want to show you the stack on the other side of the room because my Hobby Lobby at home is an hour and a half away from my house. You're welcome, Standra. I know that you love me. But listen, fondant molds are great, especially if you want to learn how to sculpt, because they're a good jumping off point. Like, I'm always going to tell you the same thing. I thought fondant molds would be like, I'd just use the fondant mold, pop it out, and I'd keep moving in the shop, like for cupcake toppers or whatever. But what I found was over time that I didn't want things to look so static or so uniform. So I would start something in a fondant mold, but then I'd take it out and put my own spin on it. So it actually just makes your brain work through how heavy something should be, what the size is, like what the proportions are. And then over time, you kind of wean yourself off of some of those, but they're super fun. Like, just don't let my husband sell them when I go before him. Don't let him sell them for what I told them they're worth. Debbie is supposed to step in and take care of that. He'll have a nice retirement fund. That's all I can say about that. All right, can I still spell today? So here's Fiesta. So you could put these on a cookie just like this with the edges touching. You wouldn't need to do anything else to them, right? On that cookie that we did earlier, we could just put them across the top, put a little bow, a little royal icing bow or a transfer or something there, right? Hey, Sean. So you can do anything you want like that, okay? I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm just giving you lots of different ways that you can use something. So, but you can't really see that, right? Now, one thing that I find works well with some designs, I'm not going to use it for this because I didn't like it, but if you have a wide enough brush and you can get a dry enough amount of paint and kind of brush it into the brush so it's still got coloring, you can do what I call side swiping. You can line these guys up and you can just come across them, and coloring should just stick to the ridge part. But I didn't like how that looked on this project. So that's why I brought this along with me so you guys could see it. So this is my container from earlier, and I'm throwing it out after this demo. So I'm just going to put some white food gel on the top of it. I'm not adding anything else. It's just the only plastic thing I have handy. Oops. This is one of the disposable nail brushes, right? It's got a really stiff point. I don't want to break that point up. I want it as stiff as possible, like those ladies that paint that little detail work. I don't know how on earth they do that, but God bless them. And then I just want to get some white on my letters. I don't want too much on my brush, though, because then it's going to flow down into the crevices of the cookie. And I really just want this to put a little pop on my letters. And I did go with white because remember we dirtied up our chalkboard, like someone was using chalk on it to do lettering or menus or whatever. So I thought the whites would tie together. I know someone's going to ask me, can you do that in black? Sure you can. But it's not going to be as bright. And I wanted like a bright, fun, summery thing. And I wanted it to be more cheerful because frankly, things haven't been all that cheerful lately. All right. So you see like my E is popping. Do you want me to do like the T on the purple so you can see it? And this is just straight white gel and it will dry. So don't worry about that. My brush at this point, 2 letters in, it's still really stiff. But it is the finest brush tip for doing detail work like this. I do really like it. And you can see it doesn't take that long. So it's just to make your letters pop, okay? Shoot. If I don't do them all and we attach them to the cookie, then at some point I have to do them anyway. So if you guys can just bear with me for a second. I wasn't really thinking about that, or I'd have prepped more of these. I'll just get some color on each of them so I don't have to go back and do it sideways later. All right, anybody have questions while I'm doing this? Everybody's okay? Can you imagine what you can use that spaghetti trick for, like for Christmas garlands and stuff? Oh my gosh. I'm so happy about that. And then I took a class at CookieCon this time, and they used it in a totally different way, which I'm not going to tell you because it was part of their class. And, you know, I don't want to do that to somebody, especially since they have all the stuff laid out. But I really liked how they were using it as well. And it gave me some ideas for something I'm going to be working on in a couple of months. You know what's so hard right now is that I basically had to take most of last year off. The year before and half of last year, caring for my mom when she was so sick. So what's difficult right now is that I literally have 2.5 years worth of material because even though I couldn't actually get to something to teach it or whatever, I was trying to keep myself sane by still doing my sketches, still looking at dates, still looking at the holiday calendar, right? These are just off Amazon, Karen. Just look for Nail Tech detail brushes. They'll come in like a pack of 50 or 100, $5, $9. And I think you can get it on some of the sites, the knockoff sites people use too, although I don't know anything about the sites right now because of the other stuff. So I can't say for sure about any of those, but for sure they're on Amazon. And they have the soft ones too. So make sure you look for these that have the hard tip, okay? And by soft, this is what I mean. This is another nail brush. These are also disposable, but they have the soft. You see the difference? So you want this to do this little detail painting. It's just handier. And as you get older, you know, your hands are going to shake. I mean, I don't know, maybe you younger ones, maybe your hands shake anyway because you have a lot of coffee every day or something. I don't know. But it's nice to have that smaller brush. It's easier to control. So I have some pennants made in fondant in our colors, and I have this. All right, then I want to show you something else that I did. I'm so worried about doing this here. I'm going to do it, but only because it's you guys. And I don't have any press and seal. So if this goes badly, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. All that to show you this. All right, so you need wafer paper. I found that what I wanted to work with was the thick. I'm going to show you on one part how I colored it, but I'm going to punch it out on a non-colored part because I don't have time to seal it and then punch it, which is what I did. And I'll show you that in a minute, but let's just do this. Oh, should I do this? I feel like if I have to ask myself if I should do it, I shouldn't do it. But I'm also feel like it's a demo, and if something's going to go wrong, you should see it happen to me first. So here's the gloves I told you to wear. It's always real around here. Oh, wrong way. All right, here we go. My pink gloves, it's really easy to tell where the thumb is. On these gloves I bought down here, it's not so easy. Okay, I'm not opening the pink because I know that it's super full. So let's start with the green. Maybe it won't have as much in it. I'm also going to use a disposable brush because I don't want to have to stop to clean it. It goes bad, you guys. I'm sorry. I'll just need a minute to like clean up. Look at that. Okay, so fun. So I just pull this out and I just put it right on the paper and I buffed it in the paper. And I did a whole sheet of each color. All right, look, that's it. That's all I need to do. Do you see that? And then this if you want to. And I did a whole sheet because I'm going to be using these again in the summer. Can you just see it? So it doesn't matter that it doesn't fully cover. You just need it to read like what we think, right? So if I were doing the whole sheet, I'd have kept going, but I'm not. I'm just going to do the area on here because I want you to see that you can't see through it. All right, come on. We're so close to not messing this up. Let's not get braggadocious just yet. It's back on. It's back in the Ziploc. If anybody's wondering why this is like a thing for me, you've obviously never spilt Cardinal Red or Master Elite Black at your house. That's all we need to talk about today. It's truly terrorizing. All right, so you can see, you can't see through it. You're going to see green on both sides, right? Okay, now for the purposes of the demo, we're swapping. And I'm just going to cut off a section of this so that you can see what I used. I did use double density DD wafer paper. You can use the thinner, but I found the thinner dried out faster, so it didn't hold up as well for this project. Okay. So here is my little punch that I used. This is just off Amazon. Just type in Pennant. And this is the brand. Can you see it? Birababa. Or Bira, B-I-R-A was the brand. But you can get any one you want. This was the 1-inch, I think. Yeah, this was the 1-inch pennant. So if they have a smaller one, you're doing a smaller cookie, just do that. Oh, I digress. Let me go backwards just a second. So I did those papers and I did 5 colors. All right. So here's the 5 colors, but these are sealed because that stuff can go everywhere, right? So let's talk about that. Some of you cake artists are going to be able to do this with your own concoction. Other people will need to buy it. So let's just talk about that real quick. Okay, so, and if you want to condition the paper, I did bring my Sugar Art color solution. If this turns powder into paint, but it also conditions just a little bit. And then there's also Paper Potion from Icing Images if you need that. Or you can make a homemade version that's similar to those things. Typically what I do, I want a confectioner's glaze right now is what I'm after. And the reason I want that is in case I want to write on these. If I want to personalize a kid's name on these, they're going to need to be sealed. Otherwise, when you go to write with a edible ink pen on the wafer paper, it's going to bleed into the paper. If it's sealed, you can write on it. It looks really pretty. Also, if it's sealed, you should be able to use a thicker royal icing and it won't bleed into the paper because it's going to be sealed. So confectioner's glaze, CK confectioner's glaze works well. Just remember, you cannot rinse those brushes in water. They'll seize up. They'll be ruined. Though if you use that with a brush, it needs to be a disposable brush, or you're going to need to clean it with Everclear or some high-proof alcohol before you try to use it again. All right, Ma Baker and Chef has a gloss. It's a confectioner's glaze. Some of you will have this. I like to use 50% Everclear, the highest one, the 190, and 50% corn syrup, the light one. And so I'll put the same quantity of each, like a tablespoon of each, into just a basic container like this. Put a top on it, swirl it till they mix up, and then I just brush this on with a disposable brush. But don't forget this step or it'll mess everything up for you. So this is what they look like, right? You can see they have a glaze on them. I can write on these. They're pretty. They look like plastic, which is what the pennants look like on the Fiesta banners or garlands or what you guys want to call them. So it fit what I needed it to do, fit with what the realistic look would be like. Oh, here's some of those little llamas that I made. You could use those same little detail brushes, just paint the saddle and eyeball, leave the llama white, or you could do the rainbow colors on the llama, but the llamas were really cute. I just didn't want to, I don't want to add something else to it that I didn't think we could get done in the hour and a half. All right, so after you did the confectioner's glaze, you let it dry. You can just come right through here and pop these out. You can do them all ahead of time. You can save this, even though it's going to be colored and sealed, you can save it, grind this down in a just a little tabletop coffee grinder. You'll have to clean it in between each use, but you can grind this down and make the green, for instance. If you want to make a fuzzy bush, you could do this, grind it down, make a little powder with this, and then after you pipe, if you want fuzzy leaves or a texture, you could just drizzle this on top of it. It'll stick to the wet icing and give you that felted or fuzzy look. If you're making like, I don't know, like eucalyptus or something, it's another way to do that. Just quick example. So that's how I created that, but I already have mine made, okay? So just know that. In a minute, I'm going to show you this. We're going to use these little guys. We're just going to use this one though. So let me get these out of the way. All right, so this is always the part on these cookies that takes so long when you're doing something fluffy and custom like this, you guys. It's the prep is all in this kind of stuff. So for me, I can watch a couple tutorials. I can sit and watch a movie with my husband, whatever, be at my little work desk. I mean, one night I'll do all of this, another night I'll do all of the next thing, whatever, depending on how big the order is. And so I can do all this way ahead of time and do the cookie and the icing like right before, right? So you just have to plan. All right, so we have our Fiesta in the fondant. I showed you what you would do if you wanted to do the stencil or the stencil swipe. We made fondant pennants. I just showed you how to make these, and look how cool this is going to look. Like now, if you go back and enlarge the other cookie, you can tell the different mediums that we used. So do you have to use them all? No. But it's a free tutorial and you might want to know how to do this, and it may be triggering something else for you. All All right, so let's put a baby Ziploc right here. Oh, you remember earlier I said I blew up the Ziploc? Somebody's going to ask me about this, okay? So I actually opened the bag up, just kind of did this so it was full. Then I pulled it over here, the zipper, to where just my finger was in here. If you wanted to, you could stick a straw in the bag, but you don't really need to. And then just really quickly close it so it has a little give. And this is what I used to dry the spaghetti on, okay? So let's flatten this out. We're just going to do a little bit of this just so you can see what I'm talking about. Is everybody still okay over there? Yeah, the cutter link is already up. There's also a link under Nancy's for the stencil. And I don't know how long the videos are available for because of all the weirdness with Facebook right now. So that question I can't answer, but I think I saw someone else post earlier today that live videos are only staying up for 30 days. What I have not been able to test yet, but is first on my list when I'm back at it full time, I'm going to put up a recorded video. I'm going to post a recorded video and see how long that stays. And then we'll know, right? Because we can using the program that I use, I can record at the same time I'm live streaming. So if they take away the live stream, but they'll let a pre-recorded video stay, then I can reload the video for you. So we're just going to play with that. Haven't had a lot of time to investigate that yet. Okay. Melinda's saying they're currently up for 30 days per Facebook unless something changes. And they haven't deleted any of my live videos yet. They said I had until the middle of June to get all of my live stuff downloaded before they got rid of it. But I understand they're not getting such good feedback about this whole thing. So I don't know what they're actually doing. And that is not my job today. All right, you guys ready? Leanne is saying 30 days for a live, I think. And then if you record it, you can put it up for another 30. So every video from the date you posted is only staying up 30 days. Is that what we're saying? All right, maybe someone that knows for sure. So I'm just going to punch some of these little flowers. I like to give it a little shimmy with this thing. You know what? I think I actually did the next size up. And I'm going to show you how to make tassels too before we move on, okay? At least one out of this purple. Because I already have them made in the other color. So I've just got these, okay? And that's all we need because we want to fill in some of these flowers. I don't know why it stuck so wonderfully to this bag when I had so much trouble with it the other day, but it's fine. They wouldn't stick and it kept moving on me, but these are like exactly how they should have been. So I'm just going to move them over. You can still see them, right? Okay. This is the easiest thing like you're ever going to do in cake land. You always think it's hard, but it's not hard. This part is not. I love making tassels. I like making them. Leanne said yes. She thinks that's how it's working. Yeah. So Renee is saying Nancy said 30 days and she's saving it to her own website. So I do have the website and I did send in information to see how much my website can house. Because apparently I have a section I've been paying for all along that we can have a password. So just the class people could get it in, or the cookie snack attackers or whatever. So we'll figure it out. We always figure it out. They always try to stump us and then we figure it out. All right. So this is on the thinnest setting and I want this about 1/4 of an inch, right? I don't need very much to do this. And I had a little pair of, you do need a good pair of pointy sewing scissors for this though. Yeah, like these. These are really sharp though, so be careful, okay? So I've got this strip. It's about 1.5 inches. It's rolled out as thin as I can do it to where you can't see through it. And then I'm just going to go about 3/4 of the way up and cut these little pieces. Now, if your fondant's really, really pliable or it feels really sticky, just before you do this, dust it with a little bit of cornstarch. Any brand will work. Just dust it before you do the cutting, so when you do the next part, it doesn't get all sticky and stick together, because then it won't look as cute. And we know it's all about the cuteness. Okay, now this is enough to make 2 tassels. I just find it easier to hold it as a longer piece. So I've got it cut. All I'm going to do is roll it. I got my tassels, right? Can separate them if I want to, but I really just want to see that line. Do you see that? Okay, and then on the end, I'm just going to roll it like this, like it's pinched, so it would look like a flower. And then I left them to dry overnight, okay, because I wanted them to get really stiff. And then this, the next day, I just cut it right at the top. And the night before, I made just little balls, like pea-sized balls. And with a little bit of water, if this was overnight, they'd be dry. A little bit of water, you can attach it. And there you have that. Let me see if I can hold it up for you. You have that super cute little baby tassel, like super nice detail. If you have time, dry dusting this with the neon color purple or a darker shade of purple is going to give it even more dimension. It just looks really pretty. All right, so I'm only making that one though. We got to move on, okay? Okay. Yes. All right, we're good. I think we're still good on time, right? 3, and I think I'm supposed to be done at 3:15. I don't want to waste this though. I got to find the bag. There's not a chance that I'm making any more of this when I get home, because we have to unload a truck when I get home, and I have another cookie I want to do right away. So I need to save this. I just pushed all the air out and zipped it. It's fine. If color bleeds where they touch each other, just pinch that part off and turn it into the purple. It won't hurt anything. These are those super sharp scissors. I'm pretty sure these came from Amazon too. All right. Okay, so now let's put our cookie together, okay? You guys ready? All right, so here's my cookie. Let's get back in the right light. We good? Okay. So for the purposes of this cookie, remember I said I needed it to set up faster. So I mixed a slightly thicker brown. I didn't mean to make it mottled. It just is. It does not need to be. I just needed a thicker one that would dry faster. And I'm going to cut it to about a 3-point opening. And the first thing we're going to do is pick one of our pieces of the bucatini. Remember, you're supposed to use spaghetti or angel hair. And I'm going to wipe it because I did it today. At home when I did it, these were totally dry. But I don't want this white to come off on the chalkboard and leave a big streak. I could erase it by adding some Everclear to it. I just don't want to deal with it today. So now I'm going to look at this. You see how that is on the cookie? And you see how far off the cookie I can get this thing to come? I'm going to pinch a little bit off on this end. Just break it off. You're not going to see it. And I'm going to take a tiny bit off on the other end. All right. And I think that's going to work, right? Because this part on the original cookie I didn't ice because I wanted to remember to flare the pennants out a little bit. So do you see how much it's going to stick off that cookie just in case you are doing a cake topper or you're boxing it? Like this is going to give you a lot of dimension, which I think is fun. So now I know exactly where I want it to attach on the cookie. I'm just going to put some icing there and then push it into it. Okay. Same thing over here. It's not attaching at the end. It's going to attach in that curvy area. I just want to push that into it. So this first one is the one I want more of the movement out of. I want it higher off the cookie because of what I'm going to put on it. Now, if I were experimenting at home, I'd be using that curly Q one, but I don't want to do it on camera because we only have 16 minutes left. So I'm just going to put the second one on. And this one I'm going to go under and then over. And I'm going to go up a little higher. And so I'm going to need to break just a little bit of this off. Whoopsie. If it breaks in the wrong spot, it's fine. Go with it. Break it on one end and then just turn it. Okay. It's not going to hurt a thing. And no one else is going to know but you. And you don't have to tell me. So it's all good. I think I want to go this way though. All right. Now it is important to remember if you were going to do that stencil, you needed to do that stencil before you started adding your 3D effects. Okay. I think I want this to be up a little higher. Yeah, I think that's going to look a little better. So this is going to be a play as you go, guys. You just have to get the feel for what you want it to look like. But I think I want these a little more, still very full, but a little more spread out. So I'm going to get it to where I want it attached. And I'm going to put the icing and then tuck it into it, okay? You can see the other one is staying exactly where I put it. You can also put some icing over the top if you want. Not going to hurt anything. However you want to do it is fine. Just make sure it's going to stick to that cookie. And you can see how thick this is. I'm almost using it like sculpting icing, right? All right, do we need a third one? I feel like we did need a third piece because I think on the original one, I put fondant on one, I put the wafer paper on one, and then I put the Fiesta on a separate. So how about we just do this? How about we do a little piece just for demo purposes, like up in this top area so you can see it, right? You're not going to see that end. So I'm just going to glue that down. You guys miss these days where I just do crazy stuff. All right, let's get rid of that. All right, so you want to work back to the front. Hey, Julie, you want to work back to the front. You don't have to fully fill it in, but get the bigger pieces in the back, smaller pieces coming towards the front, and then remember you have things you can use for filler. So I'm going to put all this on the one tray and just show you what that looks like, okay? And then don't forget to go back and find that video for the interactive llama piñata. That's on my YouTube page, so you guys can use that too. And let's see, I'm gonna put this here. I do feel like sometimes, guys, you have to do one full cookie to understand how you want things to dry with your fondant pieces. And then you can kind of just move a little faster. Right? You can do a whole bunch of them and it doesn't matter that they're dry if you know what you need it to look like. And I thought I don't know what I did with them though. Hold on. Let me just settle for a moment and see if I can see them. I thought I used tweezers when I put this together. I'm sad I have to pack up this workstation tonight though, because tomorrow we start loading a big truck and it's nonstop loading until we leave. Well, if I did use tweezers, I don't know where they are. So if this goes a little bit slower, you have my apologies, because I'm going to have to use my Dresden tool to attach these things. Okay. You guys ready? Everybody's okay? Okay, let's come here. Now, remember, if you did get something like that, you just need a little bit of Everclear and you can take that smudge off. You can just make it look like you erased the chalk. All right, so the bigger pieces were these big fondant pieces. So I'm going to just separate them. Originally, I had them in separate little containers so I wouldn't forget. And then here's the medium size. There's an even bigger size in that mold that I didn't make. Julie, I'm in Florida packing up Mom's house. So I'll be heading back to the mountains in Virginia soon. So I've been prepping, and Brian should be here in the next few hours with Pen, and it's just nonstop packing. All right, so see my original deal? I made all the flowers in different colors, because those make those cool, like little poofy looking ball things. That's what you can use those flowers for. And then I've got my tassels too. All right, are we good to go? Everything good? I think I just hit the camera. All right, so here we go. Let's work on the bigger pieces first. You can use icing to attach this, or you can use straight corn syrup, or you can use confectioner's glaze, whatever you want to do, okay? I am going to just put a little bit of confectioner's glaze. You will need something tacky, though. It won't work with just water because of the pennants. They won't stick, okay? And you need one of those disposable brushes. All right, so I'm going to start at the back, and I think I'm going to keep my main thing is that I want my Fiesta in a certain order, Fiesta. Fiesta. So knowing that that's going to be on the forwardmost piece here, I'm going to mix up the colors in the back, just as long as two colors aren't next to each other. That's going to be my goal. And it doesn't matter if a little white goes into this. You see how it touched the white? I just need a little bit of the sticky. So I'm going to come up, actually, I'm going to start here on the yellow and just put some on the yellow. And I know I want to come all the way over here and just be gentle with this so that it covers that naked cookie. I kind of want to stick out a little bit, and I want to use it to put a little pressure there. I'm going to go to purple next on the other end. And I'm going to work in the back. So I'm going underneath. I just want to cover this up for that part. Just make sure it's touching. I'm going to go to pink next. I don't even know if I have enough of these made up, so we may do some filler with the other smaller pieces that I pre-made. But I want you to see how to cover all that gluing we did, okay? Just in case there's anybody new on here. You know, if you've done this a while, you could have covered that with some more icing. You could have piped a flower there. Like, there's so much you could do. But just in case you're new, I don't want anybody panicking when they go to duplicate. Can you see that? I'm just a little bit on the edge. I'm trying to keep it on one side because it is going to dry a little glossier. Put this one. And again, bigger pieces in the back. That's going to look better. But if you like it the other way, I'm okay with that. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Do what you need to do. Stay in on the back one. Now, if I were doing a whole bunch of these, I'd have had a lot more of the larger pieces made, and I'd just go ahead and finish filling at least 1, 2, 3 more of the big, but I'm just going to use the baby ones for now, just so we can keep moving. We just have, how did we use an hour and a half already? I was trying to be so good and keep us moving. Okay, that one's down. All right, I'm just going to speed it up a little for you, okay? Yes, you can do this at home, but I wouldn't. It'll get too sticky unless you're definitely putting something over top of it. You just have to play with how you place these things. See how that looks nice? I'm just going to swipe it across there. Let's go back in here with this. I don't like it when my fingers get sticky though, so. And I am seeing that we're a little behind on time, so that is why I've moved into something I'd probably do if I were somewhere competing, but I don't ever really do when I'm working on cookies, because when I'm working on cookies, I'm much slower. We'll go underneath. This dries and will not come off. You can leave some spacing for your extra pieces if you want to. I did because I really wanted to put the cute tassels on there. Now my Fiesta, I'm going to come over here. Whoopsie. See, when it hits another piece, it's going to suck to it. So you have to be sure about where you're putting it down. Now, I also found on a cookie like this, because your piece that you're attaching it to can change, right? Like your spaghetti might be a different length. You might have gone with a smaller cookie, whatever. I find it best to do one end, the other end, so make sure your pieces are in order so you don't misspell something. And then work side to side. Confectioner's glaze, I normally use CK, but I couldn't bring it with me on the airplane. I'll tell you why too, because it had, I had the big bottle. Now, you need to see this too, so you know what I did to keep them up. Just took a piece of paper towel when these were drying and put the piece where I wanted it, and put something under it to hold it, and it'll dry right there. But anyway, my bottle was too big, and they made me throw a whole container like this away because I didn't have an ingredient label. So I don't bring my big bottles anymore. Or I'll get something like when we get to CookieCon or whatever, I'll just buy some from somebody because it's just so expensive. So anyway, spread these out, okay? Have your little pieces of paper towel or balled up press and seal, whatever, just whatever you're going to put under them to hold them up, have that ready to go. so it doesn't slow you down. These will dry overnight. You do not need to put it in the dehydrator. It'll dry. Let me rephrase that. You might need to in Texas. I did not in Virginia. All right, now I'm going to come back and I'm going to fill in with some of the paper pieces, and then I'm going to attach the tassels, and then we're pretty much done. Okay. So I've got these. If they're stuck together, just break off the piece that's stuck to it. And these give you just a different look. You can do something different with them, right? But I think it's so fun. It makes it really full. It gives it a lot of motion. I think combining the different mediums is really a lot of fun. Do you see how I have these two purples right here together? I knew I was going to break that up by just attaching a little green in here. So I don't care that I put down two purple fondants because I'm breaking it up with the green. But you get the idea here, right? Oopsie. And that might happen where you push down too hard and your spaghetti comes up. So just make sure that if that's the case, that you're watching if the weight of something pulls it down, right? I just love the motion on these. To me, it just looked like nice summer day in the market or at the beach. All right, so you can see, and you'll just let it dry like that. This looked pretty spritzed with dry dust too. And as far as attaching tassels, this was the tassel. I just dipped it in, found an opening, and then attached it that way. And just left it like that to dry. Okay. Put a few more of them on here for you, and then I'll show you the finished cookie again. And, you know, really you can't go wrong with these. The other thing on here, let me find the ones I just made so they don't break. I think these are the ones I just made. You know, the little pom-pom flowers that are so popular. This with a little fondant tool, if you take your flour and put a couple of these together, it'll make like a half circle, and you can just attach that too. So you see it? See what it looks like? And then you just need a little bit of confectioners on the back. You have to do those when they're moist though, okay? So you either have to go ahead and commit and make the half balls right when you pop the flowers out, or you got to make them right before you put them on the cookie. They can be dry, though. It will work. You just have to have more patience. And then you can open them up a little bit when you put them on there for that particular look as well, okay? All right, we good? All right, I don't see any questions over there, and I think I hit most of the questions as we were going. So I'm going to pull this one in and let you guys look at it for a minute. Oh, and you know, this one, I did put some gold luster dust on the letters. That's why they're shiny like that. I don't know if it really showed up well in the camera. So you can see where we have the tassels, and I just put a little ball on the top. It's just another little piece of the same fondant rolled in a ball, and everything attached the way that we just did it. I didn't put any of the little flower clusters on this one. I hadn't made them yet. So you have that option too. And then if you can find the fan, the full 360 pleated fan, that would be really cute in the corners, or you could paint those little llamas. All right, so we okay? Everybody's good? All right, you guys. Well, I think that I am 30 seconds early. How shocking is that? Okay, so you guys, the Google Drive was just put up by Summer, so you can find, yeah, you can write on the board. You can write on it with, do you want me to just show you what it looks like if you, come on, you're going to make me late though, because I was 30 seconds early. I have 20 seconds. I'll just pull some of the white food gel just so you can see what it shows up like. I'll do it on the new cookie though, because I'm going to save the original. So white food gel with those little pointy things, you can actually, you can keep a steady hand. You can write right on it. And that's not going to dry shiny. It's going to dry flat, and it shows up really well. Okay. All right. Thank you, Kathy. My life is going to settle down if I have to drag it into May of 2025, kicking and screaming. I'm fixing to just shut it down. Retreat is in Virginia. There'll be more info posted probably tonight. I need to go pack for a few more hours, and then I'll put some more details. But the retreat's in Virginia. The dates are there. There is a tourist day on the front end and on the back end, because then we're probably going to go on the road again with the retreats after this. We'll make them vacation destination places like we were doing. Hey, Cindy, hope you're feeling good today. And then also the class is posted. This is not class in a box though, you guys. That spring birdsong class, it's the class and the cutters separate. So you'll need to get both of them if you want the cutters. There will be a silhouette up in the Facebook group when it releases. Silhouette? Yeah, outlines, whatever, where you can hand cut the cookies if you want to again, okay? So no worries. No, John, but I'm not opposed to a retreat in California now that I can travel again. So if someone has something they want me to do, you just contact me. You guys are super welcome. Thank you so much. Melinda and Frosting Creators of San Antonio, love you guys so much. Thank you for including me again. Please don't miss me next year because I think I've done every one of these. Mary, my website is seriouslysweetcupcakes.com. And once my video's over, if you go back up to the top, I'm pretty sure Melinda posted all of my links and stuff. But if you guys have questions, you can always leave a question under the video and I'll watch for it, okay? Dee Dee, hey, thank you for being here. Okay, I'll see you guys later. And Fiesta on. Said that right, didn't I? It does mean party on, right? Okay, bye guys. Have a great day.